Miss Wallace, can you tell me what case you're here on?
Good morning. I am here on the minor prove up in the Flynn versus McGee matter.
Alrighty, and you represent who?
The defendants, Jennifer McGee and Callie McGee.
Okay. Okay, I'm just getting everybody online, so I'm going to put you back in the waiting room, but I'll see you in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Could you tell me your name and what case you're with, please, ma'am?
Kathleen Bennett.
All right.
It's let's see. It's this is a litigation for the estate of Francis Hooper.
Okay. And you're Kathleen Bennett. All right, ma'am. And you're showing up as iPad 60. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Who is that?
Kathleen Bennett. She's with the Hooper case.
Okay, all right, maybe a witness or something. All right.
Let's see who this is. Good morning. Could you give me your name and tell me what case you're with?
My name is Tiffany Flynn.
Okay, and what case are you with, ma'am?
Sierra Jenkins.
You're
and
with Tiffany Flynn. I see. There you are. I found you. All right, ma'am. We're going to get started here shortly.
Okay.
We're showing up as iPhone. Fix that. Okay, I'll be right back with you. Let me put you in the waiting room.
Okay.
Christy, we have another.
Okay, there's going to be a Neil Johnson joining. He is with the Pacific Life Annuity.
Yeah, and I also have Tom Bennett. Shown up. Let me just.
I don't. That might be with that Blumenstall.
It is.
Okay.
Hello, Fannin County Court at Law.
Hi,
Slana,
it's me.
glad to hear you. We're trying to sign on all these people for this Hooper.
Okay.
Is
yeah.
that who you're with Hooper? Slana, is that you're with the Hooper case? The estate of Francis Hooper?
Yeah, that's the one I was going to listen to.
Okay.
But after it's all over, I will I'll talk to y'all after we're not live.
Yes. I hope you're doing good. Let me okay, I've got this guy. He's not connecting. He must not be in the room. So I'm not going to worry about him right now.
Has Miles signed in yet?
He just did. I'm going to
All right.
find him. I think I've checked in with all these people. And so he's the first. I don't have Bart. I have Courtney Wallace, but I don't have Neil Johnson. Casey alone. Miles, we're still waiting on Bart Smith and Neil Johnson.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yay. Okay. Well, I'll be back with you here in a minute.
Okay.
Courtney Johnson is with Kelly Crane. Courtney Wallace is with Kelly Crane, not Johnson, I'm sorry. Courtney Wallace is with Kelly Crane.
She's representing. Let's see. Okay, Blumenstiel. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm still signing everyone in. I just wanted to check in with you. I do not, is Miss Allison Teal McDonald with you?
No, she's going to be signing it separately.
Okay, do not have her yet. I do have several other people regarding this case that have signed, that are in the waiting room, but
Okay, perfect.
and I don't have Mr. Gant yet either. So I'm just basically waiting on those two, but we're going to listen to some other cases first. So we're good.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll just hide here in the wings then.
I'm going to put you in the waiting room.
Oh, all right. No spectator sport for me.
See you in a minute. Okay. Next. Hopefully Bart Smith and Neil Johnson will sign on soon. And I guess you ready for that. Okay. Let me just make sure that this man is. Mr. Bennett, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you with the State of Francis Hooper case?
Yes.
All righty, sir. Get you in the right here. Okay. I will be back with you in a minute. I just want to check in with you. Thank
Okay.
you. All right. We just need,
I called Bill Gant's office, but he ain't answering.
so we just need J. Bart Smith and Neil Johnson for the first one. We have everyone for Anita Lewis Moore. We have everyone for Christy Lloyd Carr, and we have, we'll just waiting for Mr. Gant and Miss Teal. Okay, Ann Tierney has, oh, good. Let's see. Mr. Smith has appeared. I need to let him know. Oh, he's, okay.
Has Mr. Johnson appeared yet on the civil?
No,
Okay, I don't know if he'll be there or not, but may just be. I don't know. I sent him the thing.
I think I have Miss Teal. Donald, let me see. Miss Teal, are you Allison Teal McDonald? You're great. Okay, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. I'll be back with you in a second. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let me check in with Miss Tierney. Good morning, Miss Tierney. Are you with the Francis Hooper case today?
Yes, yes,
Oh.
ma'am.
Well, I'm just checking in. I'll be back with you in a moment when we get started, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Still no bill?
Still no bill, but that's for that last case.
Yeah.
J. Bart Smith, but I don't have Neil Johnson.
Okay. I'm gonna forward it to both of those again, just in case.
Okay. Mr. Smith, good morning, sir. How are you? Can you hear me all right? Mr. Smith, can you hear me all right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Okay, we're gonna get started with you in a minute. Sir, Mr. Johnson hasn't signed in yet. Neil Johnson, that's the only person I'm waiting for in your case.
Yeah, and
So-
we found out last night his wife's brother passed away, and they had to go to South Texas, and
He probably,
He's sending us an affidavit that we're getting up. That's the only thing that we don't have with us today, I think, is his affidavit. He's the annuity guy is what it is.
we won't be hearing from Mr. Johnson today then. Okay.
No, ma'am.
All righty. Well, let me get y'all back, everybody in your case on here,
Okay.
and we can let the judge know. Let me get Miss Flynn. Okay. Am I expecting anyone else in this case? I have Miss Flynn, Mr. Smith, Mr. Porter, and Miss Wallace.
I think we have everybody.
We'll let off.
Courtney,
Do what?
I was asking Courtney.
Yeah, I
You got-
have somebody.
Okay. Hey, Tiffany.
Hi.
All right. Oh my God. Okay, I've let the office know. They should be here in just a moment.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, let me call cause number CV-2022-7791. This is Tiffany Flynn versus Jennifer McGee and Callie McGee. What do we have this morning?
Judge, we just have a prove up for 2 minors.
Very good. Who's going to testify?
I think we're only going to have one witness, Your Honor. It's be Miss Tiffany Flynn, plaintiff.
All right, Tiffany, if you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Very good. Lower your hand. You may proceed.
All right. Ms. Flynn, would you please state your full name for the record?
Tiffany Renee Flynn.
Okay. And you're the mother of Sierra Jenkins and Aaron Hall, true?
Yes.
Okay. Sierra's date of birth is May 19th, 2009.
Yes.
And Aaron's date of birth is January 16th, 2017.
Yes.
Okay. And if my math's right, sometimes I get my math wrong on this, but looks like they'll be turning 18 by Sierra will turn 18 on May 19th, 2020.
Who is that talking?
Miles, could you mute for a minute? You've got a lot of background noise. Thanks.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Okay. And Sierra should turn 18 on May 19th of 2028.
Yes.
And Aaron will turn 18 on January 16th of 2036.
January 6th.
Or January 6th, I'm sorry. Now, on about August 21st of 2021, were you and the kids involved in an automobile accident over off Highway 56 and 121?
Yes.
Okay. And generally speaking, the facts of that accident is the defendant went through a stop sign and contact was ultimately made between the two vehicles.
Yes.
And you and the kids were injured in that accident, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Generally speaking, I want to kind of go over Sierra's injuries. She had injury to her left hip and right ankle.
Yes.
Okay. And she was taken via EMS to Wilson and Jones, where they gave her a workover, diagnosed her with a contusion and sprain to her left hip and right ankle.
Yes.
Okay. And she ended up following up a couple of weeks after that over at the Greater Texas Health Clinic, still having some hip pain and right ankle pain. True?
Yes.
Okay. And she was given told to take ibuprofen and kind of treat the pain on an as needed basis with the over the counter medications.
Yes.
Okay. And that was her last treatment, correct?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay. With regard to Aaron, he had a laceration above his eye, did he not?
Yes, he did.
And had some abrasions on the face.
Yes.
Also taken via EMS to Wilson and Jones, where they closed his wound with an adhesive, performed a CT to make sure there was no head injuries, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he was ultimately discharged from Wilson and Jones, and in the following weeks followed up with the pediatrician who made sure the wound was healing as it should, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now you realize as a result of the accident, because the kids are under 18, you had to bring a claim on their behalf.
Yes.
Okay. And we've reached a settlement, and we're in front of the judge today to ask the judge to approve that settlement.
Yes.
True. Okay. And let's start off with Sierra. The proposed settlement for her is $15,500. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And you realize out of that, reduced attorney's fees and expenses come out of $4,023.37. True?
Yes.
Okay. And then other than that, Medicaid had a bill of $732.35, correct?
Yes,
And,
sir.
yeah. And the bottom line to Sierra would be $10,744.28 that was going to be invested into a Pacific Life annuity. Sound right?
Yes.
Okay. And as for Aaron, his gross settlement was $17,800, correct?
Yes.
And out of that, reduced attorney's fees and expenses of $4,623.37 would come out. True?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then we had to pay Medicaid. Medicaid had a bill of $1,038.62. Sound correct?
Yes.
And then the bottom line going to Aaron would be $12,138.01 that will go into a Pacific Life annuity as well, right?
yes,
Now, at some point after we agreed on the settlement, we had different plans we were going over with the annuities, and I'm sure Mr. Porter, the guardian ad litem, everybody's gone over the different pay structures with you, right?
yes,
And as far as Sierra goes, the payment she'll receive is $3,349.25 that'll be payable semi-annually, guaranteed for 2 years, which is 4 payments beginning on May 19th of 2028, with the last guaranteed payment on November 19th, 2029. Does that sound correct?
yes,
And those payments over the settlement money will end up paying over time $13,397. Correct?
yes, correct.
Okay. And with regard to Aaron, the payments he'll receive are $3,112.73. It'll be payable semi-annually, guaranteed for 4 years, which is 8 payments beginning on January 6th, 2036, with the last guaranteed payment on July 6th of 2039. Sound correct?
Yes,
And his total payments made over that time will total $24,901.84. True?
true.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna jump around here a little bit. Will you please state your current address for the court?
Yes, it's 414 South Broadway Street, Bells, Texas, 75414.
Okay. The annuity company is going to have you fill out some paperwork, and it's Mr. Johnson's not here this morning because of a death in the family, but he always likes to say that if you happen to change your address, please let them know. That way the annuity people know where you're at, and they can, if they have money for you or questions, they can find you. Okay.
Yes,
Now, do you realize if the court approves the settlement today, it'll be final?
yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, and you understand that once it's approved, release is signed, and you'll have no further recourse, even if the kid's condition were to deteriorate over time.
Yes,
Okay. Now you realize you'll have to sign a compromise settlement agreement as well. It's absolving the defendant and the insurance company of all liability.
yes,
Okay. Do you feel, are you entering into the settlement voluntarily?
yes,
Okay. Have you been satisfied with my firm's representation of you and the kids?
yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Are you asking the court to approve the settlement today?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Ms. Flynn, I appreciate your time. The other attorneys may have some questions for you, but I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Wallace, do you have questions?
Just a few questions, Judge. Good morning, Ms. Flynn. My name is Courtney Wallace, and I represent the defendants Jennifer McGee and Callie McGee in this case. Do you understand who I am and who I represent?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it true that you have not been induced to enter into this compromise settlement agreement by any statement, act, or representation of any kind on the part of McGee or Texas Farm Bureau? Other
You're
than the
gonna have-
settlement that's been discussed?
Can you reword that?
Sure. So is it true that you haven't been induced to enter into the settlement agreement with any other terms other than what's been discussed here today? The payments that your minors will receive?
Like forced?
Correct.
No, I was not forced.
And you haven't been promised anything other than what's been specifically set out in the compromise settlement agreement and the final judgment. Is that true?
True, but I'm not.
And do you understand that this settlement takes the place of trial?
Yes,
So in other words, you could have this matter tried to a jury or the judge, and they could award no money, more money, less money, or the same amount of money that's being offered in the settlement.
correct.
And you understand that this is a final settlement, so you and your children can never come back and ask for more compensation from this accident.
Yes,
And do you understand that all of the claims are going to be dismissed against the defendants?
they're gonna be, yes, yes,
You understand that they're going to be dismissed?
yes,
And do you understand that because this is a final settlement, all future medical needs on behalf of your children are your responsibility as a parent?
yeah,
And do you realize that an annuity contract is a business proposition that involves some risks?
yes,
And after weighing the risk and benefits, you believe that it's in your children's best interest to put the money in an annuity?
yes,
And do you understand that the Farm Bureau has executed what's called a qualified assignment in favor of Pacific Life Insurance Company? So they'll have the obligation to make those payments to your minors.
yes,
And is it your opinion that the settlement offer made by my clients was just, fair, reasonable, and acceptable?
yes,
And are you asking the court to approve this settlement because you believe it's in the best interest of your children?
yes,
Thank you so much for your time. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Porter?
Tiffany, you brought Aaron and Sierra into my office for me to meet them, right?
yes, sir, I did.
And I was able to talk to them about their injuries and talk to you and see how they're doing, right?
Yes,
And we talked about the settlement and the structured settlement and the annuity and how it was going to work. And I told you I'd get back to you with the proposed structures, right?
yes,
And I did that, and you were able to choose what you thought was appropriate for Sierra and Aaron, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. You understand that there's provisions in the judgment, and we talked about this, to keep them from calling a organization that would buy those structured settlements for a reduced amount. They can't just call up one of those companies on TV and take their money early. And we talked about why that needs to be in there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything that you need to ask me regarding this settlement while we're here today?
No, I do not.
Pass the witness.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Smith?
Plaintiff rest, Your Honor.
Very good. Then I will approve the settlement. Has there been a discussion concerning the ad litem fee?
I believe we've agreed to $3,000. It's in the judgment, Judge.
Well, there's a blank there, so I'm going to fill it in.
Yes, sir.
All right.
$3,000. We agree to that.
So it's 3,000
Yes,
even?
even. It was in the last judgment I saw.
Well, I don't know. I've got one that could be a Xerox copy of one earlier, but I filled it in. I've signed it. It's the original order now, and it will be processed by the clerk. Anything else we need this morning?
No, sir.
All
No, Your
right.
Honor.
I've approved this settlement. Everyone have a good day. Thank you.
You do the same. Thanks, Judge.
All right, we're gonna do more next.
Yes, sir.
Here's two. We'll do it that way. Okay. Good morning.
Morning. How are you, Judge?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm dry.
Well, and you got your Valentine outfit on, it looks
I
like.
do. We're having a little office party today because we're trying to keep morale up.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Let me call cause number PR-2023-13162, matter of the state of Anita Lewis Moore, Carla Ball, representing Carla Ball. All right, ma'am. Since you are an officer of the court, I'm not going to swear you in. If you want to present testimony to prove up this particular estate, then you may go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. First of all, I would ask you to take judicial notice of all the facts included in the application, and we will swear to all those facts. My aunt, Anita Louise Moore, actually died on November 11th, 2022. She was 79 years old. She died over in Paris, Texas at a nursing facility. I've included her last three numbers of her driver's license and her social security number in the application. Jurisdiction is with this court because she lived in Fannin County. All of her property is located in Fannin County. She does have some real estate and some personal property that are in the house that she owned that is going to need to be sold. It's probably not worth more than $50,000, and she does owe both to Medicaid, and she's going to end up owing to a couple of credit cards. I'm sure Medicaid's going to eat up all the money that what we can get from the sale of the house. She was previously married a man by the name of Thaddeus Moore. However, they were divorced back in the mid-90s. I've looked through her entire residence. I can't find a will. I can't find her divorce decree. I can't really find much of anything. So she's a bit of a hoarder. So other than that, I'm asking that you present letters of administration to me on an unsupervised independent administration, and that you not require a bond, since I'm the only heir. There's no other relatives at this point.
Wonderful. Then I will find that Anita Lewis Moore is deceased. I'll find that she died intestate. I will appoint Carla R. Ball as independent administrator of her estate to serve without bond. I've signed the order upon receipt of the oath. The clerk will issue letters to. Anything else you need this morning?
Not today.
All right.
Will I need to present anything to you to get the house sold? I've actually already found a buyer who's willing to buy it as is. Bless his heart.
Right. The independent designation simply means that you can take control of the estate. And what'll happen is, Carla, it depends on what the title company wants. They may want you to go through those steps of getting court approval and the report of sale and all that stuff. If they don't require that, then you're in a position you can sell it as independent administrator. They'll probably have you sign it individually and as independent administrator. It just depends on what the title company wants. But if you need it, we'll be happy to process that for you. But talk to the title.
I'm lucky he's not financing it, so he's paying cash for it. So
okay. So I would just, in my estimation, I'd just do a deed that has you as individually and as independent administrator, and then go ahead and go forward with it.
Okay. I just want to make sure you were happy.
I'm happy if you can do it that way. All right. You have a good Valentine. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
You bet. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Johnson, you have a little bit of a wonky screen this morning.
Yeah,
But I think
kind of jumping a little.
Uh-oh. Okay.
your audio is up to date. It's not lagging, so you might just want to black out your screen.
Okay. Stop video.
There
How's
you go.
that?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Good.
Okay.
Let me call cause number PR-2022-13140, matter of the estate of Christy Luana Farr. I have before me Joy Elizabeth McIntosh being represented by Miss Johnson. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Miss McIntosh, raise your right hand if you would, please. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self to God?
I do.
Very good. Lower your hand. You may proceed.
Ms. McIntosh, would you state your full name, please?
Joy Elizabeth McIntosh,
And where do you reside?
1120 West Russell Avenue, Bonham.
And how were you acquainted with Christy Luana Farr?
She was my sister.
And was she born May 15th, 1957 in Clarksville, Texas?
Yes.
Did she die September 14th, 2022 at Texoma Medical Center in Denison, Texas, where she was receiving medical care?
Yes.
Was her permanent residence and permanent domicile here in Fannin County, Texas at the time of her death?
Yes.
And was she married one time only, and that to Patrick Farr?
Yes.
And did he predecease her, dying January the 23rd of 2010?
Yes.
And did she ever have any children born to her?
No.
Did she ever adopt any children at any time?
No.
And did she leave a holographic will?
Yes.
And would you recognize that document?
Yes.
And I'll show you a copy that was of the document that was presented to the court and filed with the court as her last will and testament. And do you recognize a copy of that document?
Yes.
And I'm showing you that document at this time, a copy of that document at this time. Do you recognize it?
Yes,
Is this a document that was wholly handwritten by Christy Luana Farr?
yes, it is.
Okay. Does her signature appear on that document?
Yes, it does.
Christy Luana Farr on the second page of that document?
Yes,
And is this document wholly in her handwriting?
yes, it is.
Okay. And her signature appears on the second page of that document?
Yes,
Okay. In that document, she leaves her property to her mother and father, is that correct?
yes,
And her father's deceased, but her mother's still alive.
yes,
Okay. And the state of Texas is not named as a devotee in that document, nor any government agency of the state of Texas or any charitable organizations named in that document is a devotee either. Is that correct?
yes,
And she willed her jewelry to her niece, Joanna Che Shrewsbury, and the balance and remainder to her parents.
yes,
Okay. And if they were deceased, the balance went to her two sisters, yourself and Lori Robertson.
yes,
Okay. Let's see. And you're asking the court to appoint you as independent administrator with the will annexed
yes.
because she didn't appoint an executor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And your sister and your mother have both signed relinquishment of right to be appointed. Is that correct?
Yes,
And to the best of your knowledge, after March the 1st of 2005, she didn't apply for, receive, or have paid on her behalf any Medicaid benefits for nursing home or other health care benefits.
no,
Okay. And you're asking the court to appoint you as independent administrator with the will annexed.
yes,
There's no reason why you wouldn't qualify to serve as such. You've never been convicted of a felony or crime of moral turpitude.
no.
Okay. I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
All right, very good. And I will find that Christy Lewin Farr is deceased. I'll find that she left a holographic will dated June 16, 2014. It will be admitted to probate. I will appoint Joy Elizabeth McIntosh as independent executor or administrator of her estate. And I will not require any bond of hers since waivers have been signed by the sister and the mother.
Your Honor, would you
anything-
like a witness, another witness to the will, Your Honor? I have one. I have two, actually,
Well,
if you need them.
if you have one, we probably need one. I was looking, it was notarized by Chris Smith, but probably another will would be advisable. I mean, another witness.
I do have two. I have Chris here and I have Judy Baker.
I think Chris testifying sufficient. She was a notary and she witnessed it.
All right, I have Chris Smith.
All right, Chris, if you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. You may proceed.
Chris, would you state your full name for the court?
Christina Ray Smith.
And I'll show you the document that was offered for probate as the last will and testament of Christy Luana Farr. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you present when Christy Luana Farr signed this document?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she sign this before you on the 16th day of June of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you see her sign this document?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this her signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Christy Luana Farr.
Yes, ma'am.
And did she ask you to witness this document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she ask you to notarize it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you see her sign the document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see her write the document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is her signature and her handwriting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Very good. Then I will find that two witnesses have testified to the authenticity of the will. As I said, I will admit it to probate and appoint Joy Elizabeth McIntosh as independent administrator of her estate. I have signed the order. It will be processed by the clerk. Upon receipt of the oath, she will issue letters to Ms. McIntosh. Anything further needed this morning?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
Valentine's Day. I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You may. Thank you.
All right, let me get all these in. We have several people present.
All right.
Meeting on the second floor. I believe they have in-floor seating. Now, before we go to the kitchen, I actually want to take everybody.
Could you mute? There's a background noise. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All
I'm
right.
trying to get out of here.
Oh,
I'm
Miss
trying to
Johnson,
leave. I'm
I'll
trying
do
to
it.
leave. I'm sorry. It's
Then
not
I'll do it.
popping up.
Very good. Let me call cause number PR-2021-12968. This is the estate of Francis A. Hooper, aka Fran Hooper, deceased. Allison Teal McDonald is the applicant, being represented by Abraham Brumenstein. And Billy Gant is the ad litem. I have a couple of other people. Tell me about your witnesses, if you would, please.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Abraham Avi Blumensteel on behalf of the applicant, Allison Teal McDonald. We also have here as our witnesses, Mr. Charles Thomas Bennett. Mr. Bennett, would you give us a wave so we know who you are? There he is. And we also have with us Miss Kathleen Bennett. Miss Bennett, are you on camera right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there she is. Excellent. All right. And I also have with me, I believe, Allison Teal McDonald. Teal, can you give us a wave? All right. There she is. So, Your Honor, I've got all of my people here.
All right. And I have someone at the bottom of the screen. Who is that?
Kathleen Bennett.
Okay. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is you have three people with you. There's another picture that's stationary. Is there anybody else on that has not been identified at this point?
Or that's Ann Tierney.
And the last name?
Tierney.
Miss Tierney,
My middle name is Tierney. My last name is Devlin.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
All right. And you are here to participate in this hearing, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're representing yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Then essentially the way it works is, since you don't have an attorney, what will happen is the case will be put on, and then at the end, I will give you a chance to make a narrative statement about what information you want the court to know before I make a decision in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, your first witness.
First witness is going to be Allison Teal McDonald, who's the applicant herein.
All right. You may proceed.
Your Honor, are we going to swear the witness in?
I'm sorry, I need to swear all four of you in. If you would all four raise your right hands, that would be very good. All four of you have your hands raised. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got?
I do.
I do.
Great. All of you lower your hands. Now you can proceed.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Hi, Ms. McDonald. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Ms. McDonald, would you state your full name for the record, please?
Allison Teal McDonald.
All right. And Ms. McDonald, what's your relationship with the decedent, Frances Ann Hooper?
She was my mother.
Is it true that Ms. Hooper died on March 21st, 2018?
Yes,
And did she pass away in Denton County, Texas? Is that correct?
yes,
And was she 67 years old at the time of her death?
correct.
All right. Now, although she died in Denton County, was she a resident of Fannin County at the time of her death?
Yes,
All right. Was she married at the time she passed away?
she was a widow.
All right. How many prior marriages had she had?
2.
Was Her first marriage to John Kinney McDonald Sr., is that correct?
That's correct.
And did that marriage terminate in divorce in 1991?
Yes,
And was her second marriage to a Roger Dale Hooper?
that's correct.
Did that marriage end with Mr. Hooper's death in 2014?
Yes,
All right. How many children did Ms. Hooper have during her lifetime?
4.
So I'm going to read through some names here. Were those 4 children Allison Teal McDonald, yourself, John
Yes.
Kinney McDonald,
Correct.
Ann Devlin McDonald,
Yes,
and Melissa Bailey McDonald?
that's correct.
All right. Did she have any other children that she adopted or brought into her house to raise as her own other than those 4?
No,
Okay. Teal, is there a necessity for administration of this estate? What I mean by that is there a need to partition her property among the heirs, gather her property, settle her debts, and distribute the remaining assets to her heirs?
yes,
Okay. Are you over the age of 18?
yes,
Okay. Have you ever been found incapacitated by a court of law?
no,
Okay, now I have reviewed with you the things that would make you qualified or disqualified for receiving letters of administration. Are you qualified to receive letters of administration in this estate?
yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. McDonald. Your Honor, I'm going to pass the witness, and I have no further questions at this time.
Okay, is Billy Gant on? I don't have a screen large enough to get everyone on. Is Billy Gant?
I see him way down at the bottom of mine, Your Honor.
Wonderful. Mr. Gant, do you have questions of this witness?
It looks like Billy's muted, Your Honor.
Yeah. Monique, can you indicate to him he's muted?
I'll also just send a chat message as well. Hopefully that'll help to him.
That'd be good.